In this video series, we are going to create this Instagram post, and you can see it has 2 posts and also the username, the mini profile, and also the suggestions. And inside each post, you can see the number of likes, the captions, the comments, and also the input box. And we will start from the Instagram headers. And we already created this project before, so you can start with this project. And before we start, we have to make some adjustment on the header, so it will make more like a real Instagram. So we can inspect this and we can make it larger. And you can see if we continue to make the screen size smaller, the input box will, like the real Instagram, it will disappear. So we will make this adjustment, and also we want to make this align with this line, so they are in the same line. So now we are going to our project, and we go to the headers, and then we go to the headers component, and instead of using the max width 6XL, we go to use 4XL. We create another div to create the div with flash and justify between, and the width is 4/6. And then we place all of these inside this div, and then we go to our web page, and now we can see a little bit adjustment, and we want to make this hidden. So now we go to our input box, and then at here we set this originally is hidden, and this is mobile first. So now we go to here and set if this is a medium-sized screen, we use flash. So now if we go to inspect and make a smaller screen, you can see the input box disappear, and when we become larger, the input box appear again. Now we go to create the feed component. So under the component, we create a new file called feed.js, and then here we type _RAFCE, and then we add the class name as grid, and then we use grid columns 1, and for the medium size we use grid columns 2, and the max width for the medium size is 3XL, and for extra large screen we use 3 columns, and for extra large screen the width is max width 4XL, and we have the margin horizontal auto. So now we create 2 sections. So you can see for the Instagram we have 1 section for the stories and the posts, and the other sections has the mini profile and also the suggestions. So we have to create 2 sections. So the first section we use 2 columns, and the background color is red. We just want to let you know which is the section 1. And then we create another sections, and we type this as stories and feed. Now at the other section we create a background color of blue of 200, and then we type this is mini profile and suggestions. We have to back to the index, and then under the headers we import the feed component. Now we can see the headers, the stories and feed, the mini profile and suggestions will be placed at here, and you can see this line is on the same line, so the input box aligned with the stories and the feed. And before we move on, we want to make it more like a real Instagram. And if you look at this real Instagram, you can see compared with our previous version, the size of the input box should be larger and the icon should be smaller. And also the search, the first letter should be capital letter. So we have to correct this. And so the placeholder, we have to use the capital letters. And I also make a few changes I create a larger icon for using the H10, and also we use the round corner. We remove the round corner or use a smaller round corner with round SM, and then we place the item center. So these three things, the icons, the search, and also the search icon will be aligned vertically. And I also want to make this a smaller icon. So let's check this if we change this to H3 and H4. So this is much better. And I also use the flex 1, so because our size of the input area is larger, so we want to make it expand to occupy all the space left. So we use the flex 1. And I also change this icon size to H3. So now this is much better than before. So we can move on to the other sections. In this part, we are going to add the stories to our project. And since we already create these stories before, so we can copy the components and paste to our project. So I already copy from our stories project, so we can paste the components here. And then add the index page and go to the feed. And we should import this to these sections. So we type stories, and then we import the stories from the stories. And there is an error that there is no this package, so we have to add this to our project. So we go to our terminal and type yarn add. And then we go to the localhost, and now you can see we have these stories, but you can see there is scroll bar up here, and you can see in our finished product there should be no scroll bar because there are two plugins that we haven't installed yet. So if you refer to our story project, you can see at the tailwind.config there are two plugins that we have to install. One is the scroll bar hide. So we copy this and back to our project, and we type yarn add. And then we also have to install the other plugin. So we copy this and paste to our terminal. And then we copy these two to our config.js. And under the plugin, we type these two required. And now you can see in our project, it scrolls smoothly and there's no scroll bar under these stories. Now we start creating the posts in the Instagram. So we have to go back to our project and create two components. One is the post.js and the other is the post.js. And under the post.js, we type underscore our AFCE, and then we import the post. And then we go back to the post.js and also do the same thing to create the component. And then under this, we just type post. And then we back to the feed.js. And at here, we import the post component. And then we do the same to import the post from post. Now we remove the background color. And then we go to the website, and you can see we have these two posts. Now we are going to create these posts like this, and we just create a headers first. So we back to the post.js. The first thing we have to do is to import the icon. and we import the dot horizontal icon from hero icon, and this is to import these 3 dots. And then at here we add the class name, and it has the background color of white, and the paddings, the margin horizontally has 7 units, and also we have the border, and the border we have a round corners, which is a small round corner. So now you can see we have the white background and it has some margin in between. And now we create another div which has a flex and also the item center, and this will align these 3 items in a row. And also we add the item centers to align them vertically center. So we have these 2 classes, and then we add avatars, and this is from the Daisy UI, and we set it has the width and height of 10 units. And then we add the username, and the username has the class of small text, and also the font weight is semi-bold. And then we type the username, and then we type the dot horizontal icon, and then we set the height of 5 units, and then we close it. Now we back to here. You can see it has all these 3 things already appear, but they are close to each other, so we have to add the flex 1. So now the username will take up all the space that left, so it will push the 3 dots to the end of the rectangle. And we also have to add the padding of 4 units. So now you can see it will much better that it has some space around the avatars, the username, and also the 3 dots. And now we can see the stories do not take up the whole length of the space, so we have to make some adjustment on the style. And so we back to the stories, and we should delete the max width, so this do not add the limitations on the length. So now it will take up the whole width. And now we can also delete these colors. So we back to the feed.js, and at the section we delete this color or delete this class. Now it will back to normal gray colors. After we already create the post headers, we can add the image and also these icon groups. So we back to our project and go back to the post, and under this div we add the image tag, and the image tag is linking to the unsplash image, and we set the width is full, so this is 100% width. So if we back to the project, now you can see it has these beautiful pictures in full width. Now we are going to add the icons groups, and we have to import a field icons because there is a heart, the comment, and also a sharing icon, and also a bookmark icons. So now we back to the project and go to the top. We have to import the heart icon, the paper plane, airplane icon, and also the bookmark icon. Now we can go to the bottom of the image, and then we create a div to hold these icons groups. So we use the div with the flex and justify between, so they has the space, the same space in between. So we use justify between, and it has the padding horizontally of 4 units, and also we have the paddings top of 4 units. So we create a padding of 4 units. Now we create the div. This div is to hold these 3 icons. So we create the div, and we have the flex and space. There's space between them of 4 units, and also items center. These make them aligned vertically center. So now we can add the heart icon, and the class name is the height of 6. Now we can see this heart icon, and we create the comment icon, and we have to import from the fun awesome. So we have to type import fun awesome icon from, we add fun awesome, and then we have to import the fa command, and we import it from the regular svg icon. And now we go back to here and we type the fun awesome, and the class name is cursor pointer, and the icon is fa command, and we use the size is LG, and then we close it. Now we can see the comment icon, but it has a wrong direction, so we have to flip it horizontally. So we back to here and add the scale of x, and then we add the -1. So now it go to a correct direction, and we also want to add the cursor pointer at here, so there's a pointer when mouse over it. So at last we have to add the paper L-pen icon, and the class name is also the height of 6 units, and also add the cursor pointer. And then now you can see the paper L-pen, but for Instagram there should be a little bit rotations, so we have to add the rotations of 60 degrees. Now we can see the sharing icons look like the same as the Instagram. And then at last we add the bookmark icon. So we here at the end of the div, we add the bookmark icon with the class name of h6 and cursor pointer. Now we can see it already create this icon and also the bookmark icon. And you can see the sharing icon is a little bit below the average, so we can make some adjustment on the y-axis. So we can type negative translate x1, it should be y. So now it looks like aligned vertically centered. And you can also see if we scroll down, this has the white color. This is because we set the maximum width at the index. So we back to the index page, and we remove this H screen. Now you can see all the background color is gray colors. After we already finished the image and also the icon scripts, we are going to add the number of likes, the username, and also the captions, and we will also add view all comments. So now we back to our project, and then we go to the post, and then after the image and after the icon scripts, we go to add the p tag, and it has the paddings of 4 horizontally and also the margin top of 4 units. And I think we can just type trans-k, and then we add the paragraph with the font semi-bold and the margin bottom of 1 unit, and also the text is small, and then we type 23 likes. Now we back to our website and refresh the page. Now we can see 23 likes, and now we are going to add the captions and the username. So we go to here, and then we type the span with the class name is equal to font semi-bold, and it has the margin right of 1 unit, and which is small text. And then we type CK mobile, and there's some username. And then after the span, we just type hello, or we can type L'Oreal if some tabs to test the trans-k. So you can see if the caption is too long, it will become 3 dots at the end. So this is truncated. And now we just back to normal captions. Now at last we are going to add wield all 14 commands. So at here, after the paragraph, we add the div. Also has padding 4 unit horizontally, and which is small text, and the margin bottom of 1, and the text is grade of 400, and it has cursor pointer, and then we type wield all 14 commands. Now we can see it has the username, the caption, and also these buttons. Now what we left for the post is we have to add the other people comment, and also the time, and also the input box for posting the comment. So now we back to the project again, and at the end of the wield all 14 command, we add another div with the class name of padding horizontally with 4 units, and we display as flash, and we want to justify between, so it will push the username and also the heart to end. So what we want to do is to push this part and this part to 2 sides. So now we are going to create a username and also the command. So we use another div to hold all of these. And then we now add a span with the font semi-bold and also the margin right of 1 unit, and has a small text. And then we type Alan, and then we type the command, and for example, we type that's great, and then we save it. Now if we back to here, we can see the command, and then we add some emoji, and then we duplicate this command. Now we can see 2 commands. And what we forgot to do is to add the heart icon. So we should go to here, and then we add the heart icon, and then the class name is h4, and then cursor pointer, and then we do the same for the other command. Now we can see there is a heart icon, so the other people can push a like here, push a heart. And what we have to do is to add the time. So we add another div with padding 4 horizontally, and then add margin top of 2, and then which is a text grade 400, and then text is extra small, and then margin bottom of 4 unit, and then we type 2 days ago, and then we create a horizontal line, and now we are going to create an input box under this horizontal line. So we have to go to under the HR, and then we type the form with the class name of flags and items center, and then we also have the padding of 4 unit, and then inside the form we need to import the emoji happy icon, and then with the class name of h7 cursor pointer, and then we close the icon, and then we push the input box with border none, and then we use the flags 1, and then we also have the focus of no ring, and also we do not want the outline, and then we also want to add a placeholder is equal to add a comment, and then we also have to add the button, and the button is the type of submit, and we also have the class name equal to font semi-bold, and the text is blue and 400. And now we should also add the margin between the emoji and the input box. So we have to go back to here and add margin right of 2 units. And we cannot see the button because we do not add the post text here. Now we can see the post, we can add the comment here, and we also have the sample comment with icon and also the times. Now we are going to create this mini profile. So we back to the project, and under the components we add another folders, another files called miniprofile.js, and then we type underscore RAFCE, and then we add the class name with fresh, and then item center, and then justify between, and then we add the margin top of 10 units and also the margin left of 10 units, and then we add the avatars with the DCUI avatar class name, and then we also add the width and height of 14 pixels. So if you back to the website, and then we add another div with flex 1 and margin x4. The margin x4, so this has the horizontal margin of 4 units, and then we have the x2 with the font bold, and then we type the username, and then we also add another headings of h3, and then with the class name equal to small text, and we have a gray color of 14 units, and then we type welcome to Instagram, and then at last we have to add the sign out button. So we add a button with the class of text blue 400, and then the text small, and then the font semi bold, and then we add sign out. So now we can go back to the feed, and then we import these to here, and we have to use a div to wrap the mini profile because we want to fix this. So we add the div with class name fixed, and then we add mini profile. Now we can see this mini profile already appeared, and the reason that we add the fix, as you can see, we can scroll and the mini profile still fixed at these sections. After we already create this mini profile, we are going to create these suggestion components. So under the components folder, we add another file called suggestions, and then we type underscore RAFCE, and then we back to the feed.js. Under the mini profile, we type suggestions. Now we already import the suggestions, so we can back to the suggestion component. Inside this div, we add the class name, and then we add the margin top of 4 units and the margin left of 10 units. And then inside the div, we add the div, and then we have the flex, and then we have justify between, and then we have text is small, and then margin bottom of 5 units, and then we have h3 dot, we use the text small, and also the font is semi bold, and then the text is grade of 400 units, and then inside this we type suggestions, and then next to the headings we add the button with the text of gray color of 600, and then the the font is semi-bold, and then we type CO. Now, if we back to the website, we can see the suggestion and see all these buttons. Now we can go to add these suggestions. So we go to here, we add another div with the class name of flex, and then items center, and has the justify between, and then the margin top of 3 units. And then inside the div, we are going to add these avatars. So now we can go to the mini profile and we copy these avatars and back to the suggestions and paste to here. But this time we set the width and height is smaller, so we use 8 units. Now we can see the profile picture. Now we have to add the username and also the descriptions. So after the avatars, we add the div to hold these username and descriptions. So we use the fast one, so it will expand to occupy all the space. And margin left of 4 units, so we type the username with the font semi-bold, and then small text. So for example, we type Alan Smith, and then we type the description. This is extra small text. And then we type the test grade of 400. And then we type new to Instagram. Now after this div, we add the button because we already finished this part. So what we left is to add the follow button. So after this div, we add the button with the class test of blue of 400, and then we have the extra small text, and the font is bold, and then we type follow. Now we can see we already created suggestions. So if you have more suggestions, we can duplicate this and copy this a few times. So now we can see the suggestions. So of course, if you have different data, it should show different profile pictures and also different username. So now we already create the front page of the Instagram.